Hi, my name is Dubravko Dolic and I want to show you how we at Tires industrialize our AI and data science use cases. Over the years, we had slight travel to come to the place where we can do so. And before I show you how we went through this, we I would like to show you some recent news which shows where we are today. Maybe you have heard, if you're interested in tires, about a news like this here. Recently, Conti unfortunately had to recall some of its tires from a plant in the US. Not very nice, but unfortunately, things like this happen. The challenge here we had is that from our huge production, we needed to find out exactly those tires which were concerned by this recall. Um, that was the point in time when I was approached. Some a data scientist had created a small script, a Python script, which was able to identify the correct tires, but it was on his local computer. So, what to do there? Luckily, over the last years, we created an infrastructure called Data Science Factory, and this Data Science Factory is exactly the place where we can industrialize such use cases. As you can see from the slide here, we created this data science factory to be able to very quickly set up an environment where we can scale out such programs. So we took a new project there, and in really less than a day, we were able to do all the setup, connect to the data source, and bring tons of data, 3 years of production into the database to analyze this problem. Um, Over the weekend, we were able to identify the tires concerned from the problem and deliver an answer to the management. Quite a success story. So, how did we get there? In the beginning, we started very small, which is nowadays a very common approach, but for a huge company like Conti Tires, that was not usual. When I was approached with the question, hey, we would like to do some machine learning, some AI stuff in the demand forecasting, the first impulse of management was let's call IBM, SAP, or whatsoever, they can solve the problem. Um, as data scientists, we stressed the point that we can do it, and we showed the management what is possible. So we just extracted some data from the data source, loaded into R, did some analysis on a specific market for specific articles, so broken down the problem very much and showed the management this is what's possible. And that led to our first bigger data science project there. And from the beginning, as we were looking from a certain IT perspective on this, we were looking for a possibility that we create some infrastructure which we can reuse for other use cases later on. So what we came up with is some kind of sketch which we wanted to create there, where we thought the process of doing data science is more or less included. What was very important to us is, as you can see here on the slide, that we created all, on the one hand, some lab environment where the data scientists can really create freely, completely independent from any IT infrastructure, something with the latest libraries, the language he wants, whatsoever. And on the other hand, an environment where we can work like in a factory where we can industrialize any data artifact that the data scientist comes up with. That was the basic idea there, and these were the first yeah, components which we used to create this data science factory. We looked at the market. We investigated some time to see and find out what was there. That was 4 years ago. We did some use cases with some providers there, but nothing on the market was really good to solve all the requirements or to satisfy all the requirements that the data scientists really had. Um, Sometimes it was too strong in the business perspective, so not flexible enough on coding. Sometimes it was too strong to the IT perspective, so there was not a good mixture. What we find out at that time, sure, was that there is a common tool stack, which nowadays is very common and more or less there everywhere. At that time, it was not that common, but also already known that you can use Git for doing collaboration on code, that you need something like Docker and Jenkins to deploy stuff, and also Kubernetes to scale out the things there. So we looked deeper into that tool stack and found out that this is exactly what we need when we would like to go this journey from classical waterfall IT projects, which are still in place at Conti up to today, going above the agile way and really meeting the requirements of continuous integration, continuous delivery, where we are able to find new features and integrate them into the software very quickly and give also a lot of steering into the hands of the data scientist. So this was the basic idea where we wanted to go there, and the data science factory was the outcome. What is very important is that with the data science factory, we created alongside processes. So we not just concentrated on delivering some piece of technology, something which runs anywhere. We also wanted to help the data scientists to go along a process to really deliver their results. So we started really very early, and as you can see here, we used some templates to help people to find use cases at all. How can you start? What is the first step that you go? Do you look for the right data and then think about the use case? Do you look for business value? What is it that you are looking for? So we did also workshops with the business areas, with the domain experts to